Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is Monday, January the 9th, 2023. I see you, Deborah. I see you, Marion. I see you, Shirley. I see you, Deborah Sneed. I see you, Liz Pryor the third. I see all of you coming in here on this morning. It is Monday, y'all. It is Monday again. It's Monday, January the 9th, 2023. I kind of laugh a little bit. What's up? Adrian coming in from YouTube. I kind of laugh a little bit. I happen to listen to, I see you, Mary Owens, coming in from LinkedIn. And Jeffrey Allen James, y'all rolling up in here on this Monday morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I laughed about stressing 2023. I was listening to the podcast of myself and Dr. Eric Currents. And in the opening, I said, today is Friday, January the 6th, 2024. And it's so interesting. We tried to get that out of there, but Gina was saying the way it flowed, we could not remove it. It would just sound crazy. And I said, well, I just said 2024, whatever. I see you, Lori Wallace. Thank you so much for sharing about your son and the incident at the store. And I think he's a trooper. So just tell him I said Auntie Gail said he's a trooper. Kenny Stanley's in the room. Dr. Antoinette, good morning to you. And what's up, Sardinia? So, y'all, we have a lot of news to cover. This past Friday was quite interesting, would you say? So we want to just jump right in. Again, many of you have been asking about some merch for Straight Fire. We finally put that together. We have three products currently. So Isaiah, if you would put that up there, if you want to get the Straight Fire mug, and Straight Fire goes all the way around the mug, the long sleeve T-shirt, or the organic grocery tote, it is there on the website, which is gaildudley.com. Then you just go to shop and you just grab whatever's up there that you would like to purchase. So we want to just put that out there. Also, if you have a business or a product that you're trying to sell and you want either a 30 to 45-second commercial or a graphic like this one right here, just email us at newsinmotionwithgail@gmail.com and let us know, and we will send you the price sheet for that. Our reach is far and wide, and of course, I will also do the audio behind that, unless you have a commercial, so that those who are listening by podcast or audio would also get your information. I see you, Jacqueline. So y'all just go there, check it out. If you have something you want to promote, do that. One thing that we're constantly doing here is promoting other voices. We've been doing that from Ready Publication side, Ready Media LLC, since 2014. And that's something that I continuously do, as I'm sure you all see here every day that I come on the air. Thank you so much, Marion, for putting that in there. All right, y'all, I am your host, Gail Dudley. I want to welcome everyone, whether you're tuning in live or listening to the replay, whether you are watching the video or listening to the audio or on the podcast platform. I just want to say good morning and thank you so much for allowing me to spend a little part of your day with you. I see you, Regina. All right, y'all. All right, House of Chaos, House of Chaos, House of Chaos. All right, y'all. The 118th Congress is now in place after 4 days of chaos, straight chaos. It took 15 votes for Speaker Kevin McCarthy to receive the gavel. It was around midnight when all heck broke loose. There was almost a fight on the floor. Representative Mike Rogers had to be held down by another representative who was going after Matt Gaetz. There was a shouting match several times. It was just chaotic all over the floor. At one point, I had thrown in the towel, so I can't do this. They had taken a vote to adjourn because that's when craziness broke out. Because they were hoping that they would have Matt Gaetz, but he did not vote the way. So some of you, it's amazing, and I appreciate all of you. I see you, Hester. I appreciate all of you and your trust in the work that I do. After 2.5 years, you see that I bring you facts or give you information on how to research and to vet and so forth. And my DMs were blowing up on Friday from right about 10 p.m. when they came back on the floor to a little bit after 12 midnight. And I appreciate that you all trust me enough. So I was receiving DMs of people saying, "What's going on? What's happening?" And so happened, I just happened to be on the DMs. There were a lot of messages. At one point, I believe it was like 52, 53 messages in my DMs, and I could not respond to all of you. I tried to do wall posts to put it out there. For those of you who actually sent me, and I thought this was so cute, for those of you who actually sent me a cash app saying, "I'm going to ask you a question, go to your DM." I just want to say thank you for even just thinking that way, because of all the information that was being shared. So a lot happened on Friday. So, some people may say, or you're wondering, why did they keep voting knowing they were in a gridlock? Well, pretty much the House doesn't have any other option. They needed a speaker in place. As I shared with you all on Thursday, the what I want to call the line, if you will, president, vice president, then speaker. But because there wasn't a speaker in place, then they went to the Senate to the pro tem, which is Democrat Patty Murray, Senator Patty Murray. So they needed to get the House in order, although it was a house of chaos. Now, y'all, the Constitution offers essentially no guidance on how to choose a speaker. No, so the House will continue to vote and negotiate. So they would just keep voting and negotiating until they find someone to fill that position. So some people were DMing me, asking me, "Well, don't the Democrats cross over?" No, they had a line, and that 212 was staying in line. Now, if and here's the truth, nobody wanted Kevin McCarthy, nobody, but the 90% who were in there. So that's what was happening. Now, if they would have offered up another speaker, then maybe that would have opened up negotiations. But where they were, Democrats, they were holding the line. Republicans, they were holding the line. The Freedom Caucus, they were holding the line. Now, the other reason that the Dems kept wanting them to vote, they kept yelling no for adjournment. Every time they would vote no. And if y'all notice that, they kept the line with that as well. Because at some point they were trying to wear down the Republicans to where they would have not been able to count right. I've always told y'all Nancy Pelosi can count numbers. She will never bring anything to the floor until she knows she has the numbers. She was counting numbers. And if they would have been able to wear them down, they would have messed up, because present or another name from the Freedom Caucus, they could have messed that up where it would have gone to Jeffries. And people, it was so much to unpack there that some people weren't able to communicate that, but that's what was happening on their end. So it all came down to it. He did it, but understand, Kevin McCarthy made a lot of concessions that has actually weakened his power immediately. He made it easier for lawmakers to pretty much put him out. At any point in time, somebody can get up every day and put a vote on the floor to get rid of him as speaker. And the Freedom Caucus is having conversations that that's what they're going to do. So he has lost his power from day one. They Legislation he gave up. He gave up assignments to committees. He's given up a lot to, so his power has been weakened. That's what's happening. Now, y'all, while this was happening, while we were all focused on this piece of it, and before I go there, let me also say again, thank you. I even had a teacher reach out saying, "Okay, I should know this, but what's happening here?" And that was centered around, can somebody else come in? So I want to speak to that just briefly. You do not have to be an elected official for someone to put your name on the floor for speaker. That's how crazy this is. Hats off to Cheryl Johnson, the House clerk. She held it down. But I want y'all to see something. And when I was watching it, I thought at one point, because I had gone in the title early on, but I kept watching it. At one point, I thought, that didn't just happen. Okay, y'all remember after the 15th vote, they didn't have it. The 14th vote, they didn't have it. And the Republicans didn't have it. Kevin McCarthy didn't have it. And the clerk, they were going into an adjournment. They had put a motion on the floor, the Republicans, to adjourn until Monday noon. and they were nay, nay, nay. They were yes to adjournment. The Democrats were nay to adjournment. And then all of a sudden, Matt Gaetz walk up to Kevin McCarthy. The 15 minutes had already hit. You only have 15 minutes to place your vote. Cheryl Johnson was up at the podium with the gavel to say the time was up. I don't know the white woman's name. She, the one who was calling out the names for the vote, she kind of like moved Cheryl Johnson off to the side and kept it going until the Republicans started reversing their yay for adjournment to nay. That was not okay. So in some incidents, in some cases, they really need to, now that this has happened and we've seen it for ourselves, they need to have some sort of rules in place because it's 15 minutes that gavel should have hit. They went over to almost 16 minutes and I think it was 3 seconds, how some people calculated it. So, right there was a problem, but whatever, it's done, it's over. So, while all of this was happening, people, voter suppression bills were being signed into law all over the United States. Yeah. I'll talk about the one from Ohio real quick, but for those of you, there's a lot of states. And again, here on News in Motion, I'm always encouraging you to look it up for yourself. So you can go to ballotpedia.org to look this up for yourself. Look up your state and see what laws your governor has put into place. I see you, Kim Edmondson. I see you, Jacqueline. I see all of you coming in here. I see you, Robert Holman. So what Governor DeWine did, what he signed while we were all focused on this Congress and this speaker, he decreased early voting days. And I'm not talking one or two. I believe I calculated 6 voting days. And when I went back and looked at the breaking numbers over the last 2 elections, which was 2020 and 2022, those are the days they took away that had the most people in line, most tallies of votes on that day. He also limited voting drop boxes. He limited those. Yes, yes, Kim, sneaky move. He also implemented a voter ID law that is so strict, so strict. He also implemented where there were people, I don't know if Elizabeth Towns is on here today or not, where people were like going to the senior citizen homes, gathering ballots to take them to put them in the box. They have removed that. It has to be someone who has not only power of attorney or someone who's I can't remember the exact wording for the relationship. Those are the only people who can take those and drop those off. So y'all don't wait until 2024 or even 20 we're in 23, right? 2024 to start thinking about the general election. You need to start working on your stuff now. Go to your Secretary of State's website and see what rules they have in place and make sure you have whatever you need to make that happen. The other thing I want to just bring up before I move on to other news, shout out to Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. That speech was fire. It was absolutely fire. He has 2 sons and a beautiful wife. His wife is, I think I want to pronounce it, Kenchandra Jeffries. She's into public service, so we're really excited about her and the work that she brings. She stays out of the limelight, but look her up. An amazing Black woman. So I wanted to put that out there as well. So well done, Minority Leader uh, uh, Hakeem Jeffries. So, with that, I want to bring in Kenny Stanley this morning to talk about Game Over. If y'all did not join him on Saturday, he kicked his podcast back off. He went back since he was away having surgery. He came back, kicked that off. I believe it was about 29 minutes, and he had a blast on Saturday. So continue to support him, watch his replay, see what's happening out there, and you can watch that, I believe, on this page as well as his personal page. So y'all, Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. you can catch Game Over with Kenny Stanley. So with this intro that's coming up, the next voice you will hear will be that of Kenny Stanley.
Good morning.
How
How
are
y'all
you?
doing? I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, before
Oh,
you jump in, I like what Dr. Antoinette said when I was talking about the 118th Congress. She said every single day. And then Marion Jackson said, did Gates nominate the former guy for speaker? He did.
yeah.
He did. And if any of you caught some of the images that are going on, Marjorie Taylor Greene had Donald Trump on the phone, passing her phone around. And I believe it was Associated Press that captured a image of DT on her Apple, on her iPhone, showing that he was the one that was really negotiating. So there's that. So go ahead, Kenny, take it away.
All right. Deuce Motion family, good morning. How y'all doing? Welcome to Game Over with me, Kenny Stanley. Hey, tonight is the night. National College Football National Championship kicks off at 7:30 on ESPN. The TCU Horned Frogs take on the Georgia Bulldogs. Who y'all got? I got a sneaky suspicion I think TCU gonna do the thing tonight. But we gonna see. I'm just looking forward to a good game. My team is not in it. So oh well. So let's see. Let's see if TCU can pull this thing off. Hey, let's continue to keep DeMar Hamlin in prayer as he continues to recover. Um, Good news as far as DeMar Hamlin goes, the Buffalo Bills will pay DeMar Hamlin's full salary. They worked it out with the NFL and the NFL Players Association, and they're going to pay his full contract just in case he's not able to play again. And I do believe that averages out to like 3.6 million. So they're going to pay his whole contract, and that's good news. Good job, Buffalo, for doing that. Uh, in the NFL yesterday, uh, Atlanta beat up on Tampa Bay 30-17. The Buffalo Bills uh, they beat the New England Patriots 35-23. Hey, they had two kick returns by one guy. I mean, he returned two kickoffs for touchdown. Hey, they showed out. They turned up and they showed the screens at the beginning of the game where Damar Hamlin was giving them the heart sign saying, "Hey, it's game time." So that was great. The Minnesota Vikings they beat the Bears 29-13. Cincinnati Bengals beat the Ravens 27-16. Philadelphia Eagles over the Giants 22-16, which was a good game. The Giants tried their best. The 49ers smashed the Cardinals 38-13. And my boys stunk up the field against Washington. They lost 26-6. And then the Detroit Lions, they sent Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers packing, and they went home. They will not make the playoffs this year. They lost 20-16. Hey, the playoff picture, the NFL playoff picture is set, and we'll kick off this Saturday, and we'll end on Monday. That's 6 games in 6 days. It's wild card weekend. Starting Saturday, the Seattle Seahawks they play against San Francisco at 4:30 on Fox. That's a 4:30 kickoff. And at night on NBC at 8:15, you got the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that's at 8:15. Like I said, on Sunday, you got the Miami Dolphins. They're going to play Buffalo at 1 p.m. on CBS. Then you got the New York Giants taking on the Minnesota Vikings at 4:30 p.m. on Fox. And then that night on NBC is a rematch from yesterday's game. Baltimore will be back in Cincinnati again. I don't even know why they're gonna go home. They was just here yesterday. But Baltimore will be in Cincinnati again at 8:15 on NBC for a rematch from yesterday's game. Let's see what happens. And then everything's gonna wrap up. The wild card weekend will wrap up this week on Monday. Dallas plays is going to Tampa Bay. That game is at 8:15. It'll be on ESPN, ABC, and ESPN Plus. I hope my Cowboys get it together. Hey, I'm a Cowboy fan. I am tired of just making the playoffs. It's time to win some games. So come on, boys, let's get it together. Dak, you can't stick up the field no more. You got to play football. The NBA was jumping off yesterday. Um, Philadelphia 76ers beat Detroit 123 to 111. The Toronto Raptors beat up on Portland yesterday 117 to 105. The Brooklyn Nets beat the Miami Heat by 1 point, 102-101. So I guess that was a good game. Memphis over the Utah Jazz, 123-118. The Oklahoma City Thunder over the Dallas Mavericks, 120-109. And Cleveland beat the Phoenix Suns, 112-98. And then Atlanta over the Los Angeles Clippers, 112-108. Hey, that's sports. Game over. Back to Gail for more news.
What's up? That was great. I love
Thank
to see
you.
the progression. I love to see that you're calm. I love to see that you are really doing what you're doing. So
Bullet
hats off
points.
to you.
Bullet points. Bullet points.
I love it. I love it. For those of you who are wondering what we're talking about, one thing that I do with everyone who is working with me around podcasts, I'm helping them write their scripts, their flow, the segue, looking at those bullet points. It's like you have to know this so much so that it flows. Fred Jones says, "Congrats to Mike Tomlin and another winning season,
Hey,
even though the
Fred, I
Steelers
meant to
just
say
missed the
that too
playoffs."
because I had that card and I forgot what I did with that bullet point. But I meant to say that Mike Tomlin, since he's been coaching, he's never had a losing season. So congratulations to Mike Tomlin. I kind of root for him, even though I don't like Pittsburgh, but I root for Mike Tomlin.
Kim Edmondson said, "Thanks, Kenny. Well done." So, y'all, I love the support that we have. Again, that's one of the things I try to do is bring new voices. We've been doing that since Ready publication in 2014, and we have continued that. So, Kenny, thank you so much for
Thank you,
hanging out and
Gail.
letting me pour into your life when it comes to media.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, I see everybody
Fred
wins.
Jones. Fred Jones just said, "Great job, Kenny. Big K
Thank you.
family."
Thank you. All right.
All right, see you later.
See
For those of you, if you would do us a great favor to help with algorithm, hit that heart, hit that thumbs up. Let's get this algorithm going. All right, real quick. President Obama, woo, President Biden, and Dr. Jill sent congratulations to Kevin McCarthy on his election as Speaker. But I love this line that he said in his press release. He says, the American people expect their leaders to govern in a way that puts their needs above all else. And that is what we need to do right now." So I thought that was interesting. Y'all, the jobs growth, the unemployment rate is at the lowest level in 50 years. This is again from the White House. Unemployment is near record lows for Black and Hispanic Americans. The unemployment rate is at a record low for people with disabilities. Hourly wages are up 0.3% in December. Manufacturing employment continued to grow with 8,000 manufacturing jobs added last month for 750,000 total manufacturing jobs created since President Biden took office. So I wanted to share that information as well. So more on the jobs report. So there's a lot that's happening. So we're excited about it. Tomorrow, I'm going to break down some of the immigration policy that was put forth, and let you know what President Biden had to say about that. So tune in tomorrow if you want to get that information. Now, you may say that has nothing to do with you. That has everything to do with you. And we have to keep educating ourselves on what's happening. And that's what we're here for right here on News in Motion. Kim Edmondson said, "Our forever president." I know, and I keep saying that. And I think just because I was always Obama and Biden, I keep saying that. I got to fix it though. All right, y'all. In some other news, it's really challenging when we see headlines of a 6-year-old who shoots teacher, who's in critical condition in Newport News, Virginia. That happened on, I believe that was Friday. So we got to still think about how we're going to move this country forward from gun violence and making sure it does not become an everyday thing when it comes to children or young people. Violence everywhere. So we have to look at things differently and grow from there. When I listened to the podcast again with myself and Dr. Eric Currents, I thought about how many people can benefit from the tools and resources that he shared. If you have not downloaded or subscribed to that Politics and Pros, Isaiah, if you will put the image up, just put that in there, politics and prose, with the and symbol, and then Gail Dudley, and the podcast should pop up. It's on all podcast platforms. So wherever you listen to your podcast, please subscribe to that and download and share that piece. It's so important that we do that. There are many parents who are fearful of sending their children to school. There are many children who are fearful about going to school, and we cannot allow that to just stay out there. We need to help them navigate these life situations and journeys. So, thank you, Isaiah, for that. The next thing I want to share, for those of you, y'all know now, Patreon is gone, it's over. Let me just be completely transparent. Epic fail on my behalf. Um, I'm not that person who I like to interact this way. I like to interact through text messages, webinars, having conversation, chat sessions, and so forth. And so that just didn't go right. But we still need your help. We still need your support. So we have a free e-newsletter that comes out under my heading, Gail Dudley, on Mondays. If you have not subscribed, it's free. Go to my website, which is www.gaildudley.com, and scroll down to the front of the homepage and just subscribe. It's free and you'll get the emails. In those emails, you'll get different kind of information if you want to continue on. Now, there is a membership within that email. And each month, it's up to you if you opt in or not. It won't continue. You can opt in, but depending upon the things that are out there. So that information is out there. If you already have a part of that email, you would have seen that information. What comes along with that is the advocacy firm that I've been talking about, and I'm so excited about. And we've kicked that off. We have kicked that off. There's the webinars that are there, how to advocate, elder care, food insecurity, how to run for office. All of that is in there. And that's so exciting. And that's connected to the membership. Again, you can opt in whenever you want to. This month, we are focusing on mentorship, in which I'm going into our inspirational message. January is International Mentorship Month. And mentoring is, how do you mentor somebody on the job? How do you mentor somebody in your neighborhood? How do you mentor someone younger than you? How do you mentor someone who's older than you? Because mentorship goes both ways. It's about promoting. How do we promote someone's business? How do we mentor someone? Like what I do with people around podcasts, writing, self-publishing, things like that. Mentorship is key. So when we're even looking at the news and watching this news unfold all around us, we have to ask ourselves, community, civic engagement, philanthropy, volunteerism, all of that falls under or could fall under this mentorship piece. When you go through the news, I'm going to still give y'all some news headlines here, but you have Elon Musk still with Twitter and Tesla, and how he's headed to court with Tesla, and all that's come. It's like to have an understanding of everything that's surrounding this Elon Musk, the investment, the stocks, the shares, all of that around Elon Musk. Then you have the former guy, the DOJ, the FBI, having a clear understanding and vetting. That's really key. That's still happening. That hasn't gone away. Then you have voter suppression laws, which I shared a few moments ago. And it's getting the resources. And I use ballotpedia.org to say, check it out, check your state, see what's happening there. In other news, we have Brazil that pretty much used our playbook here in the United States to have an insurrection. This was happening all yesterday. They finally got everyone out of their government building, and they're trying to see what's happening. They were advocating for the president, who somewhere in Florida, come back and be president and move out the newly elected person who's in the office. So that happened. So it's saying, okay, mentorship, how do we talk about this? How do we share this? How do we have a conversation? How do we understand? Where do we go from here? So mentorship, how do we build up people? How do we see things that are happening out there? Hester, I believe she's on here. Hester made a post the other day, about someone who's doing some amazing work. And she talked about she's next and just wait for it. And behind us, like, let's cheer Hester on. I see her with her properties, her hotels, her real estate, her homes, everything. It's like, let's look at that and let's build that up. We see Kim Edmondson with investment, build that up. We see Davia with her podcast. We build that up. We build up Kenny. We build up Isaiah. We build up Lori. We build up Deborah. We build up Jacqueline. We build up everyone that's on here, and we're cheering them on. Yeah, it costs us nothing to do that. So when you see headline news, you have to take a pause and say, okay, what's really happening here? For example, I saw headline news that talked about minority leader Hakeem Jeffries, and he said that he is the historical loser of Speaker of the House. They flipped the conversation to say not that Kevin McCarthy lost 14 times, but that Hakeem Jeffries lost. Well, unless there was some deal that was brokered, he would have never won. But that was out there. So mentorship is when you're having that conversation, is to take that step back and say, did that really happen? Is that what's really going on? That's not what's there. There was a spin there. So it's highlighting all of that type of information. And again, on News in Motion, that's our goal. We're going to identify key articles, key things that we want to share with you. For example, tomorrow we're going to talk about the immigration, the new bill that is put forth. We're going to talk about how the new Congress can halt that. We're going to talk about how the Supreme Court can halt that. We're going to talk about these things. And I understand it's not for everyone, but don't sleep on the information that's out there either, because this information may give you the keys of what you need to do other things on your journey. So be careful with that. So y'all tune in on tomorrow when we talk about that. We have other headline news as well. Y'all, I am Gail Dudley. I love doing what I do right here for all of you on News in Motion. Again, thank you to the 50 plus people who were DMing me throughout the evening on Friday night. Thank you for, again, trusting me with this information. I pride myself on looking for the truth, understanding, and making sure I'm delivering it to you to where you're able to receive it or to research it on your own. Don't just take my word for it, you all. Research it on your own as well. Y'all know what I say. In many places, numbers are going up with COVID. We know it's a part of our lives from here until we pass on. But still do your part. Still do your part. Stay well, everyone. And remember, make some bold moves. I'm out.
Emotion.